Hey everybody, welcome to with Joe. Today we're going to be talking about a bunch of new developments in the world of medicine, including a new delivery method for cancer drugs. And we'll be carrying on with my blanket project, my 20 plus year old denim patches and t-shirts of mine that turning into a blanket. So a bunch of quick hits, positive things from the world of medicine. First story is a new delivery method for cancer drugs, and a big problem that they seem to have with cancer drugs is that the body will reject them. Either that or the cancer drugs will affect the entire body rather than just the area that they're trying to focus on. Now they have developed a way of masking those drugs, basically hides them from the body's immune system until it gets to the appropriate place, to wherever the cancer is attacking the person. Now, I didn't get really big into details on that. But if that happens, then it should make the traditional methods of fighting cancer more effective. And it's so encouraging in my position reading these articles and getting to the point where, do I even tell you, about this new way of fighting cancer, because there's so many methods out there now. There's so many ways that can be used to battle cancer. So many treatments that are in the experimental stage, in the clinical trial stage. It's great. It's great to report on. I just hope I'm not boring anyone out there with all these methods, because the thing you have to remember with cancer is cancer isn't just cancer. Cancer is 100 different diseases, and each one affects the body differently. Each one has a different treatment. Well, not exclusively. You can treat a number of cancers the same way, but many of them do have different treatments, is what I'm trying to get to. It's just, to me, it's very interesting living in a time where we're transitioning from worrying about what's going to give you cancer next, to not having to worry about that, because if you go and do get cancer in the next few years, they should be able to heal it. Those cures are coming so regularly and so quickly. And for people like myself who worked in heavy industry, I was exposed to a lot of things that could give me cancer. And if that happens, if it doesn't kill me too quickly, I probably have a pretty good chance of survival with all the new methods that are out there. And I'm not saying this to take the pressure off of anybody out there who's looking for a cure for cancer. Keep working at it, because until it's readily available to everyone for free, I don't think we'll have one. Yeah, big news for that, because usually cancer meds are just cleaned out of the body by by natural human processes, however you want to say it. Yeah, if they can cloak that and get it to the right spot, that would just make everyone's lives who are living with cancer and being treated in that way a whole lot easier. Quick hit, another good news, good medicine news. Quick hit. They are working on a treatment for Parkinson's, and it sounds very positive. They've been working with flies for quite a while, and have found ways of isolating certain neurons that misfire with Parkinson's, and has reduced tremors in flies. So it's still kind of at a preliminary stage. That's why it's a quick hit. There's not a whole lot of detail. I try not to go into a whole lot of detail with something when it's really far away from being ready. But if you or someone you love has Parkinson's and you're interested, look it up. Potential Parkinson's treatment where they're isolating specific neurons in flies. And who knows, within a couple of years that could be a viable treatment as well. But for now, quick hit. Point of interest. Big point of interest. One thing they've found is that you can reduce your risk of stroke by living near trees. As simple as that is, and as odd as that may sound, you can reduce your risk of stroke by living close to trees. I think they said within 300 meters or something of trees. Like if you're in an urban environment and you can live near a park or on a heavily treed street or something like that, you can significantly reduce your risk of a stroke. Their rationale behind that statement was that the reduced pollutants in the air, the cleaner air given to us by trees, by living in the areas around trees, having fewer pollutants in the air reduces our risk of stroke. So just by having trees in the area, it could save your life. And for all the people who are considering getting out of the cities because of things that are happening in the world, there's another reason for you. If you can get out of a heavy urban area, get out into the country where there's more trees, more crops growing. Wife and I were fortunate enough that we found a couple acres outside of the city. We have trees around us, we have trees on our property. We're going to be planting more trees, and we live on the edge of a farmer's field, which is a blessing and a curse, because in springtime they have to spread their fertilizer, their manure, so for a few days in spring it smells quite heavily of poop, but I grew up with that, and I'm used to it, and it's only a few days, and then you get the benefit of the crops growing right next to you, and all of that carbon dioxide being taken out of the air, because crops grow quickly and they pull tons of carbon out of the air. So it's definitely cleaning up the air that we breathe. And reducing our risk of stroke, apparently. That's one thing I didn't really think of when I was living in the city is just the ever-present, the number of ever-present pollutants. Because you don't notice after a while. You know, when I first moved to the city from a rural area, I really noticed the smell of the city. It smelled completely different. And then when I moved up north to a very, very remote northern community, as soon as you stepped off the plane, everything smelled like a pine air freshener. It was just amazing. And then when you go back down to the city, hop off the plane, everything just smelled like exhaust fumes. And you don't realize it, but you're always breathing that in. That's always pollutants that are coming into your body. It's always, you know, the entire world is polluting your body. And that's the other thing. If you're polluting the world, if you're one of those people that doesn't care about the environment and just keeps polluting and keeps polluting, you're polluting your body, and you're polluting everybody else's bodies. And that can be reducing people's lifespans, increasing risk of stroke. So if everyone does their job, does their part, we've got a much better chance of surviving through this world, through this life. You know, I've said to people many times, if the whole world could just get along and pool their resources, we'd be so much better off. You know, stop worrying about the money side of things so much. You know, if there's a big invention, money's going to be there. If you end up with none of it, at least this invention that you had is out there. You know, I don't know. I hate money. I really hate money. I don't like the monetary system. It's also volatile, so fake. I like barter, I like trade. But the world doesn't work that way. The world needs a universal language. You know, how Hollywood kind of created a fake British accent. The entire world should create kind of like a fake made-up language that just combines all the different grammatical structures in all the languages and takes the best from each one, turns it into the most efficient form of communication that we can have. Get our measurements universal, get everybody on the metric system because it only makes sense. And the world would just flow so much better. There would be so many fewer misunderstandings, because if everybody speaks the same language, then there's no misinterpretations, there's no, you know, oh, you put a little bit of strain on the wrong syllable because it's not your native language, and that's really offensive. You know, you can change the entire meaning of a word with a slight inflection change. We need to create something that does away with that sort of thing, so that when you speak, you speak what you mean to say, and you're understood. Because even official interpreters can make mistakes. You know, and if an interpreter says something into a world leader's ear that is misinterpreted, that can cause wars, that can end millions of lives. Yeah, just something to get us all on the same page would be amazing. So we'll pull the pins on this episode. Got a little chunk done there. And yeah, thanks a lot for joining me. I really do appreciate the time we get to spend together. Till next time, keep chilling. Keep hanging around trees, reduce your risk of stroke. And stay positive. Cancer treatments are coming. Really value the time we get to spend together. Till next time, keep chilling. Don't forget your cookie. Peace.